What's up, Chiefs Kingdom? Today, we're diving into one of the most exciting and shocking stories to come out of the 2025 NFL Draft. Let's not sugarcoat it. Brett Veach pulled off a heist, straight-up robbery, and the whole league watched it unfold. Coming into this offseason, things weren't looking easy for Kansas City. The team was dealing with a tight salary cap, key veterans up for new contracts, and still trying to keep the roster championship caliber for another Super Bowl run. Analysts around the league questioned whether the Chiefs could continue to dominate with so many financial and roster challenges. But this is Brett Veach we're talking about. The same GM who traded up for Patrick Mahomes, the same guy who rebuilt the offensive line after Super Bowl LV. And now he's added another bold move to his resume, moving up in the draft and landing explosive talent that nobody thought would be available. While other teams played it safe, Veach saw the board differently. He identified not only who the Chiefs needed, but when and how to strike to get them. The result? A draft class that's already being called one of the biggest steals of 2025. And here's the thing. The Chiefs didn't just fill holes. They added speed, toughness, and versatility on both sides of the ball, all while sticking to a clear vision. Keep the Mahomes window wide open. It wasn't luck. It wasn't desperation. It was a calculated, aggressive strategy that only works when you have full trust in your scouts, your coaching staff, and your franchise quarterback. We're going to break down every angle of this so-called highway robbery, starting with the trade-up for a game-breaking wide receiver, followed by defensive depth that could be starters by mid-season. But before we dive into the details, I want to hear from you. Did Veach just win the draft? Drop your take in the comments. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button, because we're just getting started with this draft class. Let's break down how Brett Veach outsmarted the rest of the NFL. Again. Let's talk about the boldest move of the draft. The moment Brett Veach shook up the board by trading up to grab wide receiver Xavier Worthy out of Texas. And listen, Chiefs Kingdom, this wasn't just a smart move. It was a message to the rest of the NFL. Kansas City is not slowing down. Veach moved up 3 spots to grab Worthy, sending a third-round pick to the Bills to make it happen. Some fans questioned whether it was worth giving up that pick. But the second Worthy's name was called, you could feel the excitement ripple across the kingdom. Because this guy, he's electric. Worthy set the NFL Combine record with a 4.21 second 40-yard dash. Let that sink in. He's faster than Tyreek Hill. Yeah, you heard that right. Faster. And we know what Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes can do with that kind of speed. Defenses already struggle to contain Mahomes' arm. Now imagine him launching bombs to a receiver who can outrun just about anyone in the league. But here's what makes Worthy more than just a track star. He's a polished route runner, he has great hands, and he's fearless across the middle. This isn't just a gadget guy. He's a potential game changer from day one. Think about it. With Rashee Rice facing a potential suspension and Marquise Hollywood Brown brought in on a short-term deal, Worthy brings long-term upside to a position that's been in transition since Hill left. He opens up the field. He forces safeties deep. And most importantly, he fits perfectly in this offense. This pick wasn't just about need. It was about creating mismatch nightmares for defenses. And the fact that Veach had the awareness to make the move when other teams hesitated? That's why the Chiefs stay on top. Now I want to know, is Worthy the next great Chiefs receiver? Could he be the final piece that takes this offense back to unstoppable? Let me know in the comments. Coming up next, how Veach doubled down on defense and found 2 players who could start sooner than anyone expected. Stay tuned. Now let's talk about something that didn't get as much attention, but could end up being just as important. Defense. Because while all the headlines were about Xavier Worthy and his blazing speed, Brett Veach quietly made 2 moves that might pay off big time on the other side of the ball. First up, Jaden Hicks, the safety out of Washington State. Chiefs Kingdom. If you haven't watched Hicks's tape, do yourself a favor. This guy is a 6'2", 210-pound enforcer with serious instincts and a nose for the football. He flies downhill in run support and has the range to cover deep. In today's NFL, you need safeties who can wear multiple hats. Hicks can do that. With Mike Edwards gone and Justin Reed nearing the end of his contract, the Chiefs needed to start thinking about the future at safety. Hicks might be that future. He's physical, aggressive, and doesn't shy away from contact. Sounds like a Spags guy, right? But Veach wasn't done. He doubled down by grabbing Kamal Hadden, the cornerback from Tennessee. Hadden's story is all about potential. He's got length, quickness, and confidence. He missed time due to injury last season, which probably caused him to slide, but when he's healthy, he can lock down one side of the field. Think about what the Chiefs have already built with Trent McDuffie, L'Jarius Sneed, if he stays long-term, and Jalen Watson. Now add Hadden into the mix, and you've got a deep, young corner group that can go toe-to-toe with any offense in the league. The beauty of these picks is that they aren't being asked to carry the load right away. Hicks and Hadden will come in, learn from vets, and develop within Spagnuolo's system. But don't be surprised if one, or both, start making noise by mid-season. This is how the Chiefs stay ahead. They build depth and develop stars before they're even needed. So let me ask you, which of these two defenders do you think will have the bigger impact this year? Drop your predictions in the comments. Up next, Veach didn't stop with the flashy names. Chapter D dives into the gritty late-round picks that could turn into hidden gems. All right, Chiefs fans, now we're getting into the part of the draft where Brett Veach really earns his stripes. You know the man has a reputation for finding gold on day 3, and this year might be no different. Let's break down a few of these under-the-radar picks that could be sneaky good contributors in 2025. Let's start with Hunter Nourzad, the offensive lineman from Penn State. He's a center by trade but has versatility to play guard. Nourzad is smart, tough, and experienced, exactly the kind of interior lineman Andy Reid loves. With Nick Allegretti gone and questions about depth behind Creed Humphrey and Trey Smith, Nourzad could slide right into a backup role and be ready if called upon. Remember how the Chiefs plugged in guys like Allegretti and didn't miss a beat? Nourzad feels like that kind of guy. Plug-and-play potential. Not flashy, but exactly what you need in December when injuries start piling up. Then there's C.J. Hansen, a late-round offensive lineman from Holy Cross. Yeah, Holy Cross. Don't let the small school fool you. Hansen plays with an edge, and the Chiefs have had success with small school guys before. He's a developmental piece for sure, but Kansas City has a good track record of turning those into real contributors. On defense, don't sleep on Byron Murphy, no, not the DT, from Texas, but the linebacker the Chiefs grabbed late. He's a high-motor guy with solid tackling fundamentals. Might start on special teams, but those are the guys who sneak onto the field and earn real roles by playoff time. These late-round picks are about culture and upside. They won't all hit, and they're not meant to. But if even one of these players develops into a rotational piece or backup with starter potential, then it's a win. Think back. How many people thought guys like Isaiah Pacheco or Jalen Watson would become what they are today? That's the Veach magic. He sees something others don't. So here's a question for Chiefs Kingdom. Which of these late-round names do you think might surprise us all? I want to hear your bold picks in the comments. Coming up in our final chapter, it's time to look at the big picture. What does this draft class mean for the Chiefs' future, and how does it set them up for a three-peat? Let's zoom out now and look at what this draft really means for the Kansas City Chiefs moving forward. The biggest takeaway? Brett Veach just pulled off another draft that keeps the Super Bowl window wide open, and maybe even extends it further. You've got instant impact guys like Xavier Worthy, who could help this offense go from solid to absolutely lethal. Then you've got players like Kingsley Suamataia and Jared Wiley, who might take a little time but are loaded with upside. Sprinkle in a few smart depth picks like Nourzad and Hansen, and you've got a complete class. But here's the real win. This draft was about future-proofing the roster. Veach isn't just drafting to fill holes for 2025. He's building the next generation around Mahomes. You've got cost-controlled, talented players who'll be in Kansas City for the next 4 years. That's how dynasties stay dynasties. It also shows that the front office isn't afraid to make bold moves, trading up for Worthy, targeting high-upside linemen, grabbing raw talent late. That aggressiveness is part of what makes the Chiefs different. They don't wait around. They go get what they want. And don't forget, this draft class joins a team that already has Mahomes, Kelsey, Jones, Snead, for now, and a young, hungry defense. If even half these rookies contribute, the Chiefs could be even better than they were last year. So here's the million-dollar question. Is this the draft that seals a three-peat? That's what it's all about, right? The quest for history. No team has ever won 3 straight Super Bowls. The Chiefs now have the tools, the leadership, and the hunger to go get it. And we want to hear from you. What grade are you giving this draft? Are you hyped about Worthy? Worried about the O-line? Drop your takes in the comments and let's get the debate going. That's it for today's breakdown, Chiefs Kingdom. If you're pumped for the 2025 season, hit that like button, subscribe, and get ready for more Total Chiefs news content. Until next time, go Chiefs!